Hey, what's good, everybody? It's me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, and you're watching Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. And this is a brand new episode of Who's That Cosplayer? And joining me today is somebody like I consider her the mama of the JoJo cosplay community, and that is Mama Bruno 95. Mama, how you doing today?
Hi, I'm happy to be here with you.
Hey, I'm excited to have you join us. Just to let everybody know, Mama Bruno is all the way from Italy, and like that makes it even more perfect that she is the mama of the JoJo community. So thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome. So before we get into today's interview, everybody that's watching, make sure that you like this video, you subscribe to the channel, and you hit that bell button so that way you're always notified when we have new content here on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. And as D always says, podcast link down below in the description. Like, follow, subscribe. So Mama, are you ready to get into today's interview?
Yes, I am.
All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. So the first question that I ask each and every guest up here is, what is your origin story? Every hero or villain has one. So tell everybody who you are.
Okay. I started cosplaying in 2017 just for fun, I guess. And I cosplayed as something goth, dark, with a lot of blood, something like this. But then I started watching JoJo, and so I fell in love with the makeup, the outfit, and I just tried. I just tried to enter this world, and I I do what I can.
Yeah, and then the rest is history. And
Yes.
now we have you here. I mean, I always love hearing everybody's cosplay origin stories because of how different they all are. And
Yes.
I love that, when you first got into cosplay, you went with like a goth horror look. So I want to ask you, like, are you big into horror movies?
Yes, I love horror movies.
Nice.
I watch only horror movies.
So, like, what are some of your favorite horror movies?
I love Martyrs. It's a bit gore, I think. And then I love Saw because it's really splatter.
Uh-huh.
And Babadook. It's not usual because it's a bit weird,
Yeah.
but I love it.
Yeah, I've never seen the Babadook, but I've heard really good things about it. But I love
Yes.
the Saw franchise. And out of all the Saw movies, the only one that I really wasn't a fan of was Jigsaw. But I
Yes.
enjoyed all of the rest of them. Even the Spiral movie that had came out a couple years ago. I really enjoyed that as well.
Yes, it's so good.
Let me ask you, which Saw is your favorite Saw movie?
I think it's the third one
The third one?
because the story is a bit more original than the others.
Okay. All right. I really enjoyed the third one as well. I probably had to say my favorite is the second one because that was the first one that I had saw in theaters, and now I know I'm aging myself by saying that, but
Yes.
when I saw it, I was just like, man, like this movie is really good. And when it was announced that the third one was coming out, I was just like, okay, now I gotta go see the third one. But the second one is my favorite. So I want to, ask you one more horror question because this is something that D usually asks our guests on the podcast. But what is something from your childhood that spooked you and stayed with you to this day? Like it could be, going over to your grandma's house and one of those old dolls with the big eyes, or seeing some shadows outside. It was all it was a tree. What story do you got for me?
Well, when I was little, I was scared to go downstairs where my grandma lived because there wasn't a light there. So it was always dark, and my imagination was spinning around, creating monsters and something like this. And so I always ran real fast, really fast, and my heart beated so much. But I always loved horror, so it's a dichotomy, I think. that I was scared of the dark, but I love the horror movies.
Nice. So, I feel like that now, if you did see those monsters when you were younger, you have your own stand now. Sticky fingers, or some people
Yes.
they call them Zipper Man. But if you have your stand, you would be able to take those monsters out. So,
Oh yes.
I want to ask you, how was it like going to your not the first convention when you had first cosplayed, but like how was it going to a convention when you were doing JoJo cosplays?
Yes. My first convention in which I was doing JoJo was 1 year ago, and I cosplayed Bucciarati, and I was really, really shaking. My leg were like spaghettis.
Is that a JoJo reference?
Yes. And I felt really excited. Okay. Then I saw other JoJo cosplayers. I started to relax a bit, and then I acted like Bruno, like Bucciarati. Everyone was like, "Oh, you're Bucciarati, yes!" And I was like, "Arrivederci," like this. And everybody was so kind to me, and they gave me the strength to be myself and enjoy the convention. JoJo in general gave me the strength to be myself, to express who I am, and I think that's the main reason many of us love JoJo.
Yeah. I love that. I love that, JoJo has been something that has, given you like that inspiration, that motivation to be yourself. Because it's like with JoJo, like all of the characters are very lively, charismatic, like the energy that they have and whatnot. And like that's the reason why I love JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. That's why I love cosplaying as characters from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, because like how you were saying, the fandom for this series, like they're so welcoming. And every time like I've done JoJo cosplays at conventions, like I just love the reactions that I get from people, especially like when I cosplayed as Kira. Whenever somebody asks, can they take a photo with me? I'm just like, yeah, sure. And after they take a photo, I'm like, well, let me hold your hand. And then they get your hand, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes they don't get the reference, but then sometimes they do. So I want to ask you now, like, what has been one of your favorite moments from going to a convention?
One of my favorite moments was meeting new people, and realizing that I was not a weird person, but I was just like other person, and that's fantastic to me, because I think many of us experienced bully hating us, something like that, and instead in the conventions people are, like you said, welcoming, and it doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, the skin color, the body shape, everyone is accepted as he is, and it's wonderful. I feel so emotional going to the convention to see this love between
Who's that cosplayer?
It's silent cosplay.
cosplayers.
Nice. I love that. So now let me ask you, like, how different is the convention scene over there in Italy compared to how it is in other places all over the world?
Well, we have many convention outdoors. Okay, so we have big parks, everything with trees, flowers, something very photo setting for the photo set. Yes, and it's wonderful because you can enjoy the nature too. And also there's the inside part where there are the stands where you can buy and buy and buy, spend all your money. but I think it's always like this. And then we have the, how can I say, the cosplay. I don't know the word, sorry.
But no, what is it?
When you go on the stage, okay?
A cosplay contest?
A contest, oh my. Yes.
Are you even there?
Sorry.
No, you're good.
The cosplay contest and something like this. But there are no big convention like in America, Japan, other nations, because cosplay started to grow recently in Italy.
Nice. That's awesome. So, I want to ask you now, because when I think about Italy, I don't know why, I'm pretty sure like other JoJo fans may think this as well, but like when I think about Italy, I always think about Golden Wind Part 5, because it's like that's such a good part and like so many people love it. And I want to know, and it's like I don't want to assume, but is Part 5 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure your favorite part?
In reality, my favorite part is Stardust Crusaders.
Oh! See, just when you think that you know somebody, you find out something different. Okay, so why is Stardust Crusaders your favorite part?
My favorite part is Stardust Crusader, and the second is Vento Aureo, Golden Wind. Yes.
Okay.
Sorry. No. Stardust Crusader is something emotional to me. I'm emotional attached to that because there is Jotaro, Kakyoin, and they are the first character I felt connection with. But then I saw Bucciarati and everything changed, I guess. But yes, Golden Wind is particularly on point.
Okay. So which JoJo is your favorite JoJo?
My favorite JoJo is Jotaro.
Yar. So where's my hat at? Oh, hold on. There we go. My conductor hat. Yar is that. Oh, snap. Yeah, I want to keep it on for the whole interview now. But yes, all right. Why is Jotaro your favorite?
Because it's very deep as a character. You may think it's only closed, quiet, but in reality, I think he really evolves during all the Stardust Crusaders and then the other parts. Mm-hmm. In Stone Ocean, he touched the top of his maturity.
Yeah.
And I think he's a misunderstood character because he feels so much inside, but he can't tell others because you have to play the part of the tough one, the strong one. But in reality, I think he really suffered after what happened in Stardust Crusader.
So let me ask you now, who is your favorite villain from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure?
It's Dio.
Dio. Well, which one? And I love asking this question because some people consider Part 1 Dio different than Part 3 Dio. So which Dio is your favorite?
Part 3.
All right. I like Part 3 Dio. I hope to cosplay on one day. I want to cosplay Part 1 Dio as well because I feel like Part 1 Dio doesn't really get a lot of love. I mean, you see a lot of Part 3 Dios at conventions, but you don't see a lot of Part 1. So
yes, it's true.
Hopefully one day. So I want to ask you now, and I don't normally ask this question, but which JoBro is your favorite JoBro? And so I feel like I already know the answer, but I'm not going to assume. But which JoBro is your favorite?
Bucciarati.
Hey, if you would have hit me with the Kakyoin, I would have been surprised because I would have had known. But no, Bucciarati is an awesome character. Like everybody loves Mama Bruno, and I love the cosplay name Mama Bruno.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I want to ask you, and this is my last JoJo question I have for you. If you could have your own stand, what would your stand's name be, and what would the stand's ability be?
Okay. Well, I play D&D, so
Nice, me too.
Well, my husband is a game master, and he created a story based on the JoJo world.
Nice.
And we had stands. Yes. My stand name was Bloody Pleasure, and it was phoenix-looking stand made of blood, entirely blood. And he could make a feather made of blood, which eat the enemy and started to freeze the body part that it eated. And then the Bloody Pleasure Requiem was...
No, go ahead.
Was like a storm, a snowstorm, which made flowers grow on the enemies, and then the flower exploded, making the enemies in pieces, go in pieces.
Oh, snap. Yeah, I love that. I would love to play a JoJo's D&D game. Like, I know I hear people talk about JoJo's D&D stuff, but
yes,
yeah, man, like that's an interesting thing to do. So we're getting close to the end of the interview, and I want to know, like, what are some of your hobbies that you enjoy doing when you're not cosplaying? I know D&D is one of them, but what else do you?
Yes, I love listening to music, and I love drawing. I'm not so good in drawing, but it relaxes me a lot. And then I write poetries.
Nice.
Poems.
Right. Now, are any of those poems JoJo related?
No. For the moment, no.
I just had to ask, man. But yeah, man.
Nice question.
But no, I think that's awesome. I think that it's amazing to hear how the cosplay scene is over there in Italy. And I feel like this year alone, like I have interviewed, like, I want to say this is the first year that I've interviewed like a bunch of people from, different countries and whatnot. Like I interviewed somebody from Scotland, and I interviewed somebody from Malaysia. So it's like now, like, you're my first cosplayer that I'm interviewing from Italy, which I appreciate you coming up here and joining me. So I want to ask you, because it's like, you've done Lisa, you've done Bruno, you've done my daughter Jolene.
Yes.
I want to know what's the next. Oh, and I, of course, Anasui. I'm not a fan. I want that guy to stay away from my daughter. But what's the next JoJo cosplay that you got coming up?
Well, I have another Bucciarati version incoming, and then a new one is Rohan.
Oh,
Rohan Sensei. Yes.
I can't wait to see your Rohan. So
thank you.
You're welcome. So Mama Bruno, thank you so much for joining me up here on Who's That Cosplayer. And
thank you so much.
You're welcome.
It's been an honor.
I'm happy to have finally have you come up here and bless Who's That Cosplayer with your presence, because like I say, you're the mama of the JoJo community. So before I let you go, let everybody in social media land know where they can find you at.
Okay, I'm Mama Bruno. Mama.Bruno95 on Instagram and on TikTok, but I post rarely.
Okay, all right. Hey, y'all make sure that y'all go and follow Mama Bruno on Instagram. Make sure you follow her on TikTok too, and slide in them DMs and be like, hey, post some Mama Bruno content. Like, you can literally like go somewhere and you can throw something away. And then when you throw something away, you can be like, Ariva Dirt Cheese. I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff at the wall. But hey, you know where you can find me, your hero Benjamin Banks at KingBenji_Banks on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. You can find me on Facebook at Benjamin Banks. That should be the first person to pop up. If not, then I need to contact Mr. Zuckerberg. Thank you everybody for watching this interview. Make sure you check out some more interviews that we have up here on the channel. And like I always say, keep that pinky up, stay positive. We'll see you next time on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Peace.
Thanks again, everybody, for watching another episode of Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe to the channel. Podcast, we got that too. Make sure you give us a thumbs up and hit that bell for further episodes and notifications. Thanks a lot to our patrons. And if you don't mind, join the Patreon. We'll be having new specials coming up soon.